Hello and welcome to guide and analysis on one of the daily rotation maps, Barren Plaza. Rather than providing specific ways of clearing each day's rotation, which we still have no idea if it's going to be completely the same as the CN server by the way, I think talking about the general layout of the map and its details would prove more useful in dealing with the various situations the rotational risks force us into in the future. So, for this video, we'll be taking a look at Barren Plaza's base difficulty and focus on how the wave of enemies are spawned, while also talking about the potential problems that we may face each step of the way. We'll also be seeing how easy it can be versus how hard CC can get by doing a comparison of Risk 0, Risk 7, Risk 12 clears of the map. Taking a brief look at the enemies, we can see that there's nothing that special apart from the elite AoE mage. So with that enemy in mind, we have to watch out for a few things. 1. Proper spacing of operators in the chance that they reach or get near the front line. 2. Proper deployment order to bait and minimize the amount of damage taken. And 3. Good healers to force through the damage. I would like you to keep this in mind as we watch the examples later. Anyhow, this does not mean to ignore the other enemies as they are also dangerous under the right risk combos. Overall, this daily rotation map emphasizes on your ability in dealing with early map situations, cost management, which includes placing down your operator in the first place, and getting your healers or DPS up in time to stem the tide. Is a huge barrier to get through in this map, which is why I like to call it the Wolf Rush map. So let's begin. A quick reminder that this is risk level 0. 5 seconds into the map, the elite mage and the dogs are already appearing. Fairly easy to handle, plop down a vanguard for that block and cost. I personally chose to bring 3 vanguards so that I can set my front line quicker. The scavenger gets hit a few, but as long as she doesn't die, it's fine. Medics and DPS on the field, and shortly afterwards, our first defender. At this time, the wave changes. The wolves get upgraded and the shield mobs start arriving. This is the second part of the map you want to watch out for, since the patrolling mage, the wolves, and the mobs all arrive at the same time. There's a big spike of DPS and healing needed for that wave. Risk 0 is stupid plays and easy win. Final wave we get Monties instead of the shield mobs, but by this time your whole defense line should be set and good to take care of anything. Pop skills as needed and hope you win.
何時やらこっちし吹いて何人も語り継ぐほどかなわ 汝は我が恩敵になる。これでどうだ。
遅い。遅すぎる。
汝らの愛、我が意向にかき消す。
私には誇れる才能なんて何もない。だから狙撃手として敵は必ず半径3メートル圏外で仕留めるように気をつけてる。
At its base, the CC maps are easy, the concept of the map is simple, and the enemies are nothing new. But what happens if you add on risks? Now, let's take a look at risk level 7 with the same team. The risk for the stage were 1 life, Operator's attack decreased by 10%, Operator's defense decreased by 35%, Casters and Defenders are banned, and enemies' attack increased by 50%. I did replace 3 of the operators because the selected risk banned them. Anyhow, this run was badly played, and I would like you to see if you can nitpick where it went wrong, and what could have been done to salvage it. If you're not interested in that, just notice how quickly this train wreck unravels. Enjoy. So basically, medics weren't healing enough. Maybe if I had brought Silverash skill 2 instead of skill 1? Maybe if I had deployed more range operators to deal more damage before the enemies can deal damage to me? Maybe if I had retreated my vanguards for refund and deployment of another operator? I could have potentially saved the run past that initial wave of enemies. Now let's move on to our final showcase at Risk 12. Keep in mind that anything past Risk 8 for daily rotation maps is just for fun and challenge, and does not increase your rewards at all. Risk 12 not only tests the levels of our operator, but our knowledge of the game too. How special is a certain operator in their contribution to this stage? How will I use these traits combined with game mechanics to pass this stage? A quote from Clownpiece, the person who recorded this particular video that we're about to watch. The video is also going to be linked down below if you want to take a look at the full run. Anyhow, the quote. I think the importance of the mage especially should be emphasized, singled out, because on many days there are risks buffing him. His health, his range, his attack speed, or his damage. And the thing about that first mage is that when you combine it with the cost regeneration debuff, he really restricts what you can do in the early game. So when he's buffed or when your operators are debuffed, he becomes difficult to take out. So you need more gankers / support. That means more DP. But the doggos bite hard in the meantime, and there might be DP debuffs as well. It means it's much harder to take him out early, but if you don't take him out early, the early waves become much more difficult to survive through because his patrolling acts as an area denial. As long as he's patrolling around the middle, there's a bunch of tiles, almost all the high ground tiles, you can't place operators on without getting pelted. End quote. That being said, let's take a look at this run. The risks selected for this particular run are enemy attack speed plus 50%, operator defense minus 70%, DP regen minus 50%, enemy attack plus 100%, and enemy HP plus 150%. Notice the amount of juggling that Clown is doing in this run. Right off the bat, Texas Elite 2 gives 2 DP, while Zima lowers Siege to 12 cost, allowing her to deploy early. Castle 3 is deployed to deal damage and actually prevent Siege from taking another hit. He is then used as a tank to allow Siege to deal damage without taking damage. Castle 3 is quickly swapped out for Granny. You immediately see her 25% dodge at work as she takes no damage from the wolves. Fully refunded Granny passes the baton to Exia, where she helps kill the last wolf and charges up her skill 3 to burst down incoming enemies. Siege is low on health and retreated for Texas, who is known for how quick she is able to use her skill. She does have thin skin though. Pop Texas skill and yet another operator swap as Silverash makes his way into the arena, readying up that swing. Exia is still melting down the wolves as Myrtle is dropped down for that sweet cost regeneration. Myrtle gets hit a few times, but it's a-okay because Swing is here and Myrtle's own self-heals from her talent will heal her right back up. Silverash tanks a few shots and then Angelina is deployed for the good old bait and switch on the enemy mage. With the mage dead and Exia machine gunning down with her skill 3, Silverash is retreated like the specialist he is. Spectre is rotated in, the only operator in the game to have guts, refusing to let her HP go down to 0. We'll see use of that skill in action in just a few. By the way, did you know that retreating Silverash and then redeploying him actually makes his skill 3 recharge faster? Anyhow, as Exia's skill ends, Angelina finally comes into the spotlight as she demolishes all those that come into her range. Meanwhile, our first actual healer arrives, known for her utility in arts resistance and the 2 summons. Look forward to the usage of this operator in this clip later. Texas is placed down yet again, though this time it's for the stun that she has on her skill 2 and not the cost. Spectre's skill 2 activates as she becomes undying. The second mage enters the battlefield and Nightingale uses her skill 3 for big heals and a big FU for all sorts of incoming magic damage. Silverash swings in again as Texas stun comes in clutch, saving Spectre with the stun. We finally see the use of puppets as Angelina is saved. Silverash swing to take care of the mage and Angelina for some extra damage. Now, if you look at Exia, she's about to die. A quick red drop to redirect the shot and give just enough time for Nightingale to heal up. And the worst is over. GG.
命令を言い尽くす。この目にお前の死を映し、お待ち我に喜びを与えなさい。やっ力と栄光を。オッケー、このピンチを乗り越えよう。面倒だな。戦場に出たからには死ぬ覚悟を決めろ。
Absolutely amazing.
投降を拒む者には容赦はできん。
There are just so many things that can happen when clearing the maps in this event, and rather than a step-by-step guide on what to do, I felt this type of guide would be much more suited to SEC and everything that it brings. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you did, consider subscribing and leaving a like. If you have any questions or observations you would like to share, please leave a comment down below. But for now, I'll see you next time.